Hey everyone and welcome. Well, it's been a week of virtue signalling, cowardice and ineptitude, but mostly just insanity.
And I do believe that we have rotten politics, and I'm not using that as an exaggeration.
Which brings me to this piece of work in The Sun. Julie Reid, she is a teacher, and this is debatable by the way, and a councillor for Labour. Now, I wouldn't go after individuals usually, but this is a councillor, so she's fair game. The article is titled, "Not Right, Labour supporting teacher says kids need Marxist teachers to stop far-right parents brainwashing them." Brainwashing them. Now listen to this video.
You know, I am worried about, I'm a teacher and a counsellor, and I am worried about children going back to school. There are some, the vulnerable who are already back at school, who've been there all the time, key worker children who've been there all the time. And yes, I am worried about COVID, of course I am. But I'm also very worried about children who are stuck in households where they're hearing far-right propaganda being relayed at them daily. And I really worry about that they're not hearing the teachers' voices that they would normally hear in the classroom. So that, you know, as much as you might say teachers might need education, most of us teachers are, you know, as Michael Gove would call us, you know, lefty Marxists. No, we're not all lefty Marxists, but we clearly are preaching, you know, in the classroom daily, not Michael Gove's British values. Depends what you mean by British values, doesn't it? But we're actually talking to children about treating each other with respect and about equality. They're not getting that in all the households.
Now, I'm sure we suspected schools for indoctrination. Looks like we've got proof now, doesn't it? Her words, lefty Marxists, Britain hater, thinks her ideology is preached by teachers in school. What the actual, I assume far right from propaganda from parents is anything not Marxist to this lady, which would be the majority of the country, or bloody Corbynov wouldn't have been shamed into backbench whinging, would he? I don't hate anyone, but I seriously dislike pretend communists. Teachers, it seems, think they own your child's minds. Now, before we go into the actual article, this whole thing should bite this preacher, her words, not mine, back hard. And I mean that really hard. This country has laws against this exact thing. She might not know it, but it does. It's in the Education Act of 1996. It states, you ready? The promotion of partisan political views in the teaching of any subject in school is forbidden. So we expect a resignation coming very shortly. But anyway, let's read. The teacher and Labour councillor has claimed that kids need the Marxist teachers to stop them being brainwashed by far-right propaganda with their parents at home. How cheeky is this, everyone? How disgusting is it? Julie Reid sparked fury after insisting most teachers are lefty Marxists and warned students are being exposed to alternative views while at home. Isn't that the idea of bringing your children up right, is to expose them to all sorts of views and enable them to make their own decisions? You know, critical thought, objectivism. Jesus. The Manchester councillor made the controversial remarks in an online discussion hosted by the left-wing activist group People Before Profit on Sunday. She said, "I'm also very worried about children who are stuck in households where they're hearing far-right propaganda being relayed at them daily." She never actually mentions what the far-right propaganda is, though, does she? You notice that? It's just a blanket term, which more than likely just means all the proud English, British people, working class people, doesn't it? Because that's what it sounds like to me. Every time they use it and say the terms, it's usually directed at someone that's working class, that's trying to speak out. Just a thought, they're not hearing the teachers' voices that they would normally hear in the classroom. Most of us teachers are, you know, as Michael Gove would call us, you know, lefty Marxists. Really? No, we're not all lefty Marxists, but we clearly are preaching, you know, in the classroom daily. Preaching. You notice that word? Preaching. This is a cult, is it not? These people are cultists, and they're in charge of our children. Be worried. Be very worried. Not Michael Gove's British values. Depends on what you mean by British values, doesn't it? Yeah, it does. I'd like to know what you think British values are, Julie Reid, to be honest, because I guarantee it isn't what most of the country believe is British values. The event included trade union organisers, This is why I hate trade unions. They should be abolished. Labour MP Claudia Webb and the former Shadow Chancellor John McDonnell. Oh, if it's Marxism, he's obviously involved, isn't he? Presenting Gorton and ahve Ward, Ms Reid went on to say she is worried that pupils are not being taught about treating each other with respect and about equality. Yes, they are. Proper parents that have been teaching the children while we've been in lockdown have been doing exactly that thing. How dare you? Wow. Bury South MP Christian Wakeford MP labelled her comments an insult. Yep, I do as well, to parents. He told The Sun the suggestion that any parent who doesn't hold the lefty views of Miss Reid must be far right will be incredibly insulting to families who have worked hard to teach their kids from home during this crisis. Also present on the call was NEU trade unionist and teacher Kiri Tunks. What a strange first name, Kiri. I like that. Who called for the decolonisation of the curriculum. Oh, great. She one of them, is she? And for anti-racist training for teachers. I don't think you've got a problem if they're all Marxists, are you? Or are you saying that Marxists are racists? Ooh. She didn't think of that one, did they? It's not the first time Miss Reid has made controversial comments. I bet it isn't. She sounds like a right gobshite. She previously fell foul of her own town hall's ban on dog roaming, only to insist it was because the pup had Alzheimer's. So the dog got out, basically. Or she let the dog out, one of the two. She was hit with a £50 fine after the town hall officer spotted the 12-year-old Holly roaming off the lead near her home. 12-year-old? Hold on a minute, it just said a pup had Alzheimer's. It's 12 years old. How old did it stop being a pup? Wow. The editorials on these articles nowadays is just ridiculous, isn't it? Holly roaming off the lead near her home. Councillor Reid explained the elderly pet had Alzheimer's and was confused after being let into the garden. She also appears to have made history of anti-Semitic posts on Facebook, and she's still allowed to be a MP, a councillor, is she? And a teacher. Does that not tell you everything, everyone? Really? She's an out-and-out racist, so she's got a history of racism, and she is able to be a counsellor and a teacher for your children. Wow. Yeah, resign now. Sharing a number of deeply offensive articles. These included pieces claiming Israel was testing chemical weapons on Gaza protesters and conspiracy theories about the Rothschild family. Speaking at the time, so she's an activist that's also a teacher. Marvellous. Speaking at the time, Labour MP Charlotte Nichols labelled them disappointing. She said there's no excuse for Labour members repeatedly sharing blatantly anti-Semitic tropes like these, some of which are very recent. Ms Reid said the Labour Party did not respond to requests for comment. Wow. So what's my opinion on this? It's an absolute disgrace. She should not be teaching anyone. Her words, all teachers are lefty Marxists. Answer me this. Where's the diversity of thought, critical thinking, objectivity, etc.? These teachers aren't teaching. They're indoctrinating, aren't they? If it's all one-sided Marxism, where is the teaching involved in that? That's just ideological brainwashing, is it not? And she's saying that the parents are brainwashing. I guarantee everyone to this woman is far right, and it sickens me knowing people like her now feel your child and everyone else's child minds are theirs, and theirs alone to manipulate. Wow, just wow. Love your country? Far right. Not ashamed of its past? Far right. Don't agree with mob rule? Far right. Working class English? Far right. See where this goes? Let me just say this, Julie Reid, we are not fucking far right. We just aren't insane, am I right? But anyway, that's the end of the video. I'd like to know your opinions on this. If she's saying everyone's a lefty Marxist, that just says to me that she believes every teacher in the country is exactly the same as her. How is that good for our children? I would really like to know an answer on that one. Do you think this is ridiculous? What do you think we should do? But anyway, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to hit the like, comment, subscribe, hit the bell icon, and I'll see you on the next one.